Hello and welcome to the Little Minds Big Ideas podcast with the Early Years Network. If you're watching it on YouTube, you're probably thinking, Ben looks a little bit different this week because I am joined with Rachael again.
Hello.
And we are going to do a nice easy podcast today because we're filming it on a Friday and it's been a busy week.
Has
been a really busy week. And we are going to do a sort of like bonus episode about children starting nursery. Because in September, it gets busy.
It does. I mean, every month is busy month, but yeah, September is particularly prominent.
The changeover month. And we had a few questions on TikTok and Instagram, like my child started nursery for the first time. What on earth do I do? What do the nursery need? And things like that. So we're going to sort of talk a little bit about the best things to put in your nursery bag, what your children might need, making sure the information that the nursery has, what they need to know, what's going to make things a bit easier, and some tips when it gets a bit tricky, and then some fun stories of things that we've found in bags over the many, many years that we've been in early years. So Rachael, for background, is a nursery manager.
I am.
And she has a very busy nursery with over 100 children.
Yeah.
It's very busy. That's a lot of bags. So I thought Rachael would be a great person to discuss this with. So Rachael, what would you say is some of the things that we need in a nursery bag?
Changes of clothes.
Loads of them.
Lots and lots. No matter how old your child is, please put changes of clothes in there. If your child's potty training as well, socks. A lot of parents forget socks. Socks do get wet when they pee. Please put lots of socks in. But yeah, countless changes of clothes. The thing I'd say about changes of clothes though is don't put precious clothing in. I always say to my parents, have a nursery drawer. That drawer is those clothes that you just don't care about.
Yeah.
No one's going to judge you if you've got a couple of stains on them. They're just going to get worse.
Exactly.
And there's nothing worse than somebody putting a child in something that's beautiful and then you go and get the paints out and you feel guilty that they might get some paint on them.
Yeah.
And then that ends up stumping their play. Don't. Just put whatever clothes you don't mind, put in those bags.
My favourite is when you've got siblings and the younger sibling is wearing the clothes that the older one has worn because they've been through nursery life back and forth, so they are...
Yeah, I recognise that outfit.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
My other thing on clothes is, if it's a warm day and your child's come in shorts and a T-shirt, please make sure the change of clothes matches that. Yeah. Don't have joggers and a jumper as the change of clothes, because otherwise...
To be fair though, we are in England and...
Yeah, put everything in.
Just put everything your wardrobe, pop it in, see what happens.
But yeah, when you've only got one change of clothes and it's like a really thick jumper and it has been sunny, so they've come in shorts and T-shirts, and you just think, oh no, I'm going to have to dry it and then put it back on them.
That's it, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, clothes is a biggie. The other thing in bags I would say is any comforters you feel your child might need to settle. Whether they use them at home or not is different. When they come into a different environment and they don't know the staff, they don't know the rooms, it's so scary. And I think not only for the children, but also for the parents. Like, parents become very like, oh my goodness, I don't know if they're going to settle. The more that you can provide the setting with to allow the child to settle, the easier it'll be for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, comforters is a biggie.
I think that's an interesting one in like preschool age as well, isn't it? Because just because they're at preschool and you don't expect them to hold a comforter, they still get upset. They're only 3. Like, let them have something.
And it's even something just like a toy. I mean, we sometimes will have children who actually really struggle with transitions and they've been here for years. And they come in, they might transition from the 2s to the preschool room and suddenly they become really emotional. And actually, it is just the fact that they don't know the room. They do know usually the staff because they get to know them throughout their years. However, the room they don't know. Even for them just to be able to hold something from home, to be able to transition from inside to the garden is really beneficial. Yeah. Really helps them. So yeah, I would always say any comforters or things that you think might help your child to settle, please put in your bag.
Another one in the bag that I put in, if your child is teething, if you've got teething toys at home or teething granules, obviously make sure the staff know about them, but provide them for the nursery so that your child isn't going to suffer throughout the day. That's a big one because it's not fair on the child when they're like a baby teething. Whenever I get toothache, I really sympathise with a baby who's teething because I know what's going on and they don't. And it's just got to be the worst pain in the world.
Absolutely. And I think, like you say, it just will help them
Yeah,
to settle a bit easier.
because they're just feeling a bit more calm.
Yeah.
What else in the bag?
What else do you need in the bag?
Or one on clothing again.
Go on.
All weather clothing. So like if you if you know your setting does lots of outdoor play,
Yeah.
just always have, or leave them at nursery.
Yeah.
Like
I think the easiest
waterproof
is to leave them
trousers.
at nursery, if I'm honest, because we are in a country it's so unpredictable with the weather. But additionally, we sometimes will have like a really lovely warm day, but if you go up into our field where our forest school is, it's still really dewy.
Yeah.
So the children are then rolling all over the floor, but they're getting absolutely drenched. So we still, it seems so bizarre when you actually look at the weather, but we still put them in waterproofs, the lightweight waterproofs. I'm not trying to overheat children, can I just put it out? Yeah, so I think if you can leave them at nursery, perfect. But if not, like you say, pop them in the bags so they've got that readily accessible.
And same for shoes, welly boots,
Yeah,
all year round welly boots, because water activities do happen outside and
Yeah.
the rain and puddles. But then for children,
made me jump.
all right. For children who are toilet training, shoes that can be rinsed. So like jelly shoes or Crocs or anything that can be rinsed off.
Yes, I agree with that. That's a good point, actually. And if you don't have anything like that, just another pair of shoes would be really helpful. Because
Yeah.
if not, you've got shoeless children for the day.
Shoeless children.
Um,
Some children, some settings have like slippers, don't they? Indoor shoes.
Some do, yeah, absolutely.
have,
yeah.
yeah.
The other thing to put in your bag as well, every setting does it differently. So, but nappies and wipes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some settings do provide them, some settings don't. The way that we do it is we actually keep a pack here of both nappies and wipes and just let parents know when we're low. Creams specific to your child.
Yes.
If they need nappy creams on, any medication, obviously, you would have to please inform obviously your setting that you've got it.
Don't just put medication in a bag and don't tell anybody.
Yeah, that does happen. Please don't do that. But yeah, all those types of things that your child needs, make sure you are providing to the setting. And obviously, like we said, informing them because they are not just going to know
No.
that your child needs
One
cream.
thing that somebody put on social media was that they ask for new families, or even like when they're transitioning, is to put a picture in the bag.
I was going to say as well,
That's really nice.
pictures are really helpful sometimes.
Depends on the child.
Absolutely. So sometimes it will help a child. Other times it will distress a child. So it just depends on, I mean, you as parents will know your child the best. So it just depends on what you think might help them. It is a really good talking point though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good actually for practitioners to be able to get it out and say, oh, look, who's this and what's this? And that usually does settle a child. So they are usually helpful, but there are the odd occasion that actually just makes a child a
They're
little bit
really
more
upset. And then they just want the person in the photo. It's like,
Yeah, sometimes. So it really depends on the child, doesn't it?
the main thing, I think, with all the things we've said, clothing, shoes, wellies, whatever it is, label.
Please. Yeah.
Label everything.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just initials, because that helps to narrow it down. But just label everything, because when a busy preschool's got 50 coats flying around and you just think, and then you ask the children, whose is this? Can anyone remember whose this is?
Yeah.
And
Radio silence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, labelling's really important because if you don't want things to get lost, you are going to need to label. The other thing preschoolers love to do as well is like, our preschoolers love to swap shoes at the moment.
Nice.
Always. And I thought,
I like your shoes.
They're not your shoes. Or put different jackets in their bags. So please
They're
also,
just thieves.
yeah, but please be patient with the settings. Like sometimes if they're labelled, it's great because you will get them back. But it is just being aware that days are busy, and particularly if you pick up at a really busy time and that sock that they can't find at that prominent moment, they'll find at some point, I would imagine. Just let them
Like,
do
is
that
it
at a different
water?
time when they haven't got a queue full of parents.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we don't actively try and lose things. That's not the goal.
No.
We don't actively think, do you know what? I'm going to lose that because I just can't, don't care about it.
No, absolutely
That's not the
not.
point. But I think as well, it's that you have to remember that a lot of children have the same clothes.
Yeah.
If you think everyone's buying cheaper clothing, but they don't mind getting messy, the likelihood is that everybody's got the same navy blue Primark jacket.
That's it. Yeah.
So if you label it, at least you know you're going to get yours back, because otherwise we've got 6 of them. And the one thing that everybody in early years does is the smell. Yeah. You know a child by the smell.
Never got that down to a T.
Really?
Never.
No, I could do that, but no, that's not yours. That's yours.
A lot of people can. I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, you just know the smell.
No, I evidently don't.
You're not got the nose.
No, so label it for me.
Yeah, just put the name for Rachel. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because settings all do things differently, and everybody recommends different stuff. But I think the basics is enough change of clothes, comforters, welly boots, outdoor weather clothing, sun cream if it's hot, a hat, like water bottles. The more, the better.
Yeah, I think anything you would need at home throughout a day, put in your child's bag.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. What would you need?
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
So you've just fed your child and that child's being covered in food, you're going to change their clothes.
Yes.
You want to go outside and it starts raining, you're going to need your waterproofs. Just, whatever it is throughout the day that you use with your child, please put in the bag. And more. The more you can provide, the better the day will run.
Next on my list is information that you need to make sure your setting, your childminder, your school, whatever it is, that they need to know. For me, the first one is any allergy information.
Really, really important, yeah. And how, care plans are always the best thing to have into place. So, for instance, okay, my child's got this allergy. You'd be looking out for this if they're having a reaction, and then you'd need to do this.
Yeah, and these are your emergency contacts, X, Y, and Z, yeah.
Absolutely. So you've got a step-by-step process of what happens if that child accidentally got hold of it or whatever, had the reaction that obviously arises when they do have that. I think the more information you can provide surrounding everything about your child, the better.
Yeah.
Including home life. So, I don't know, at home, my child has an older sibling who they love to play this with, or it just gives us that pinpoint to say, okay, it makes sense why we're seeing that behaviour because they're only used to being with older children.
Yeah.
Or it makes sense as to why they like seeing when we've got birds out because they've got birds at home. Or it's just little things like that, and it can just help us. You spend a lot of time out in the garden, perfect for your child's settling sessions. Let's take them out into the garden. It's where they're used to being.
Yes. Yeah. I think, like you say, it's the more we know, and especially like with routines of like, how do they best fall asleep if they're going to be sleeping at the setting?
Yeah.
How do they best fall asleep? Do they like to have their head stroked? Do they like to have their back tapped? Like, what is it? Do they just settle on their own? Because we don't want to put them into a routine of needing to be soothed to sleep if they don't at home. But then if they're really upset, we will soothe your child. We're not just going to let them scream in the sleep room and wake everyone up.
I think also it's like the do's and the don'ts. So don't try and feed my child because they'll get very distressed.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we know that off from the offset. If you don't tell us that, 9 times out of 10, if your child's not eating on their own, which we all know children struggle to
when they start.
Yeah, absolutely. However, if I'm then trying to spoon feed your child and you never do that at home, and I'm wondering, why is your child getting
why they're so upset?
That's it. So it's just things like that. The don'ts are really important, so that we're not almost breaking that rapport from the offset.
We want the children to feel as safe and as comfortable in the setting.
They need to build that trust.
Yeah, they don't know us as much.
No.
Like, at least you know the names of people and where they're going and what's going on. Whereas your child, unless they're sort of older and can kind of understand, but they still don't know the adults that they're going to be with. They don't know the other children.
No.
Brand new environment, faces, smells, everything is different.
Absolutely.
So the more we know, we can help with. And I think with even like medication that your child has to have, you need to tell exactly what they need, how much, what times, but every setting's policies are different on it. So you do need to check with your setting.
What they will take and what they won't. The other thing with medication as well is how can you get it in your child? And I know that sounds so silly, but there are some children who you'll have to put it into yogurt for them to take. It really varies on how children will take it, because we all know some children do not like taking medication.
And it's also worth noting that there might be times where the settings say, I'm really sorry, we could not could not give it to them.
Yes.
Because we are not going to put a child in that much distress and force it down them if they are just absolutely beside themselves.
Yeah. And the on the off of that as well. Also, if your child falls asleep sometimes during lunch or before lunch or whenever it is your medication may fall, and you miss that window of opportunity, sometimes that happens.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that settings will communicate that with people, but I think it's understanding from a setting point of view as well. Like, we will do everything to care for your child and make them safe and comfortable and happy, but sometimes things might get missed or accidents will happen.
Yeah.
But we will be open and honest with everything that's going on.
Absolutely. I think the other thing to note as well is that if your child's in a baby room, they're on a 1 to 3. It's not a 1-to-1.
No.
And I think sometimes when children are settling, where possible, of course, their key person is going to be a bit more around for that child. But there might be times that you can't rock a child to sleep in your arms, or they might actually have to get used to going into the cot. But there's ways that settings will work with the parents to progress that.
Yeah, definitely. What makes things a little bit easier? So for you as a nursery manager, when you've got a new child starting, what are the things that make it easier for you?
One of the biggies I would say is probably building that relationship with the parents. Yeah. So parents coming in and doing that settle session is really helpful because you get a bit more of a picture of their life, of them, of their children, and it just allows you to have a full understanding and go, okay, now I know how to support your child properly with that settling process.
Yeah. Having open communication is so important, isn't it? Like,
yes, yeah.
But one thing I would say, and I think probably from the week we've had, but everybody that works in your child's setting or even your childminder or your teachers, whatever it is, they are human beings.
Absolutely.
So I understand things sometimes get frustrating and your child might have lost the third jacket in the week and we get the frustration and we will work really hard to do it, but we are human and that equal level of conversation has to be respectful both ways. So you have to remember that you are talking to people as well.
And also the people that are within settings, childminders, etc., are there for the love of the children.
Yes.
And they try their hardest with everything they do. So like you say, a little bit of respect goes a long way.
Yeah. And just that understanding that the passion that you have to work in early years, you have to want to work with children.
Oh my goodness, it's really not an easy job.
No.
Like, it's not easy at all. It is not just playing with children. There's so much more to it. You've got to be really skilled to work with children. And I think, if you can just have that. But similarly, it's not just respect. It is the case of, okay, they're not just trying to be really nosy into my life. It really helps.
Yeah.
It really helps just having that background knowledge. Okay, you went away for the weekend and you did this. We can then build on that within the child's play, within them getting upset. We can talk about it, all those types of things. We're not just being nosy and want to know what's going on.
No, exactly. And that, like we said, the more we know, the easier it is for everybody.
Yeah.
And then I've got the sentence that we'll try and finish. It will be difficult, but...
It will be difficult, but bear with it.
Yeah.
It will be difficult, but bear with it. Because there will be times that your child comes in kicking, screaming, extremely distressed.
Sometimes out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. But I can 9 times out of 10 guarantee we can walk around the corner and that child is settled.
Yeah.
In fact, parents probably find it harder than children.
Yeah, because they know what they're doing. They're pulling on your heartstrings.
Absolutely.
And it will be difficult, but have trust as well.
Yeah.
We will tell you if your child isn't settling. We will tell you if they have settled and you can relax and you can go to work and you can enjoy your day. And one thing I think that we all do in our settings is we send photos.
We do. I always say to parents, I can tell you till I'm black and blue in the face, your child's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just my words. It's my words against you seeing your child being pulled off you in the morning. Yeah. Totally understand that. So I do try and make a conscious effort. If your child's really upset, send you a message with a photo alongside it. Told you.
They're okay.
Fine.
They're playing with their friends.
They're happy now. And like you say, it can be out of nowhere. So it can even be a child that literally has been with you for donkeys. And suddenly that day, something's just not sitting right with them.
Yeah.
And then dad or mum having to drop them off at the door. Okay, no, I'm not happy with this. And that can sometimes be really shocking for parents.
Yeah.
So again, it is just that open communication. Genuinely, they are fine.
If it is something like that, talk to the person on the door as well. Like, we had to do a different routine this morning and we didn't have the cereal that they wanted in.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find their favourite nursery shoes and.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, being dropped at the door is the last straw and they've just exploded.
Absolutely.
The more we know then, we can talk to the child and say, we understand why you're sad, like I get it. But you've not found your shoes. I'm really sorry about that. Is there something at nursery that might make you feel better?
Yeah.
You can talk through the process. So actually the person understanding why the child's having a difficult time or why you're having a difficult time, we can work through it together.
Definitely.
It makes it easier.
I mean, like you say, that child's cup might be full.
Yeah.
And then dropping them at the door just overspills. And then we can't refill that because
we don't know why
we
it's
don't know what the
overflowed.
problem is.
No.
But if you can be as transparent as possible, it really helps.
So in a nutshell, anything that's in the bag, put a name on it.
Yeah.
The more the better.
Yeah.
Open communication.
Yeah.
And it will be difficult, but bear with us.
Yeah.
And stick with it. So that is our top tips for starting a setting. Let us know what yours are because it's always nice to hear what other people are doing and what you are asking parents for. But we thought we'd end with some things that we've found in bags or stories that we've heard about bags. And my favourite one that sticks with me is that a little girl in one of our preschools had nail varnish remover in her bag because dad had painted her nails and mum was going to remove it. So he put the nail varnish remover in her bag or something like that. And when preschool can access bags and you've got nail varnish remover, imagine carnage.
Yeah. I mean, on the back of that though, sometimes you will have, particularly preschoolers, because preschoolers tend to have the access to their bags, snacks in their bags. And you walk out to their bags and you've got a little child just sort of ferrying. What's going on here?
What you got over there?
Yeah. And they've eaten a whole bag of crisps. So great.
Like chocolates with nuts in and you don't have nuts in the setting and you're just like,
no. That's a no-go. That's very dangerous.
End up having to frisk children before they come in, don't you? Some of them, they just like to sneak snacks in.
You do, yeah. Oh, no, it's not always in the bags though. We had a little child who had deodorant down their trousers.
Nice.
So as we changed nappy, we were like, where's this deodorant come from?
Oh my God.
So you do really have to frisk children before they come in.
Yeah, before they explaining to them, you can't take that into nursery, it's a bit dangerous.
Yes, absolutely.
You said one earlier just before we started filming and I can't remember. Our wallets.
Oh, brilliant. Love it. Car keys.
Yes.
You know, when you search in your house, oh, where on earth have I put those keys? Where's that wallet? It's in your Giles bag at preschool.
Yeah, you've left it in the bag because that's where it needs to be today.
And it's when you have got your children, your twos or your preschoolers, and they're role playing. And you think, I haven't got cards out in role play. Where have they come from? Yep, no,
they real bank card.
That is your family's Derek card.
Which probably put in your office.
Absolutely. iPads will often be put in my office.
Yeah.
We found this in their bag. Okay, right, yeah.
Let's put this in here.
Yeah, I don't think parents would be happy if they became smashed, but
one of our managers actually said that they found like the parents' inhaler. Had to ring them like, I feel like you might need this with you, not with your child. But sometimes people use bags for going out as well as nursery.
Yeah, I get it, I do, but you've just got to be mindful that, of course, some of them can be accessible, but not even if they're not accessible. And you've got your baby staff members, for instance, our bags aren't accessible, but the staff members might go out and just think, oh, why have we got cowpole in there today? Or what's this? And then the panic sets in because are we supposed to know something we don't know?
Yeah. Running in. Has anybody been told about cowpole?
Yes, literally. So it's just being mindful of that, I think.
But some of the funny things, but that's another one. Let us know what you found in bags because there has been some, I can't even think of any. Ben's favourite is the child at one of our settings who just used to fill his bag with all the toys. He would,
like a little hoarder.
He was a hoarder and he just used to the bag was like bigger than him and it would like weigh him down and he would just be, What have you got in that bag? Nothing. You opened it and like all of the Play-Doh was in there. I think your friends might want to play with that. Nope, mine.
Yeah.
Just put it all in his bag. But yeah, starting nursery it's a fun time. It's a scary time.
It is. Yeah, I think it causes a lot of apprehension.
Yeah.
Apprehension, is that how you say it?
Yes, yeah, apprehension.
Oh, I really
It's apprehensive. You can be apprehensive.
You can. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go for that.
Really confused me then. Yeah. Oh, I've lost my boy.
That's okay.
Very apprehensive time.
Yes.
But I think you have just exactly like we said, just bear with it. It really does get easier. It can be a lot harder on the parents than it can the children. But additionally, one child can settle in a day, another child can settle in 3 months.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily going to settle overnight. And that's something you've got to remember. The first week might be brilliant. And you think, oh my goodness, this has been a breeze. Week 2, oh no, actually, I am having to stay here now. This was not just a little...
No, reality has kicked in. And this
absolutely, yeah. So don't be surprised if it does sort of change throughout the settling period. And also development. Sorry, Hannah, I'm still going.
No, that's okay.
But development can really take a backseat. So your child might be fully potty trained and you think, yep, brilliant, I'm taking them to nursery, and they are fully potty trained. They go to nursery and they start having those accidents again.
Yeah.
It's a big transition in their life. It's nothing that the nursery is doing wrong or the childminder or anything is doing wrong. It's actually just the fact of your child is going through a lot.
Yeah, big change, new people.
Yeah. Give them a bit of that.
It's also with potty trained, like you said, they know exactly where the toilet is at home and they know what they're doing, and they've got to learn a new
and it's
space.
confidence. It's confidence to say, oh, daddy, mummy, I need a wee. Whereas actually they've never met me.
No.
So I'm not going to tell you I need a wee, because that's quite an intimate thing for me to tell you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I need the toilet. Can be really daunting for some children. But it also can be daunting for children to say, I'm tired, or I'm hungry, or I'm this. So the way that they're going to express that is actually to get upset.
Yes.
And so I keep going back to the more we know, but the more we know, the more I can probably foresee, okay, that sign is telling me that your child's upset because they're hungry.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is really the bottom line, is just the more you can tell
me, the better.
The better.
I think it's also like nursery, your child, it will be tough to begin with. And we've said, like, even when they transition to a new room, it will be tough to begin with, but the benefits of it will outweigh that negative settle time. And that when they reach a new milestone, or they're talking about their friends or what they've done at the setting, and they're just really happy to go in and things like that, it will all be worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that we have found of late recently, and I don't know if it's just our setting or if any other settings are experiencing this at the moment, but the transition from room to room has become almost like the opposite to what it used to be.
Yeah.
So I used to always think, oh, right, okay, this child's going to get really upset because they're transitioning from a different room. Whereas now I find that actually a child might be upset in the baby room, for instance, and then we transition into the do's room and they're running through the door in the morning and they're...
like a new child.
Really, I don't know. What?
What's going on?
I'm confused. But it's great. It's really handy, and obviously it's great for everybody involved. But yeah, that is one thing that I just think, I'm not sure where
that's happening from. No. But no, that's our bag chat.
That is our bag chat.
And we now have to go and get ready for graduation.
We do.
Because as nice as it is that children are starting, we also have to say goodbye every year to a big group. It's a sad group this year, isn't it?
Particularly for you, your little...
my first lot that I had at this setting, so all a bit sad.
It is. But it'll be a fun day.
It will be a fun day. It'll be good fun.
Lots and lots of sports activities.
Woo!
That'd be good.
It'll be good fun, and hopefully we get some good weather.
Well...
It's supposed to be. It is supposed to be.
Is it?
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Okay. All right.
I've checked the weather. Fingers crossed. It's all going to be good.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah. Have a lovely rest of your week, guys. And like I say, let us know either wherever you listen to your podcast, or find us on Instagram and TikTok, and let us know your top tips when you have got new parents starting in your setting. And I will catch you in the next one.
Bye. See you later.